Long ago, in a land filled with wonders and beauty, there lived a prophet named Abraham, a man of deep faith and devotion, walking the path of God. For many years, Abraham prayed for a child, a son who would continue the journey of faith and righteousness alongside him, guiding the world toward the one true God. Finally, Abraham's prayers were answered. God blessed him and his wife Hagar with a son named Ishmael. Ishmael, a pure and innocent child, held the promise of a remarkable future. From the beginning, his life seemed destined for greatness. Hagar, his devoted mother, raised him with love and sacrifice, yet their home was a barren desert, a place without the abundance of life. As time went by, they faced a grave challenge. Their water ran out. Desperate to save her son, Hagar ran back and forth 7 times between the hills of Safa and Marwa, searching for even a single drop that could keep him alive. Her relentless faith and determination would soon lead to a miracle. In a moment of desperation, as Hagar looked upon her son, little Ishmael struck his tiny foot against the ground, and from that very spot, water burst forth. This spring, later known as the Zamzam well, became a source of life not just for Ishmael and Hagar, but for the generations to follow, a testament to God's mercy and power. As years passed, Ishmael grew into a strong and faithful young man, noble and full of devotion. The place they called home, with no other natural resources, began to thrive. People traveling through the desert sought water from the Zamzam spring and eventually settled near it. And so the city of Mecca was born, shaped around this sacred well and the lives of Ishmael and his mother. As Ishmael blossomed into adulthood, Abraham, now an elderly man, would journey to Mecca to see his beloved son. One day, however, a divine test awaited them, a trial that would echo throughout history as a symbol of devotion and submission. God came to Abraham in a dream and commanded him to sacrifice his dear son, Ishmael. Despite the love he held for his child, Abraham was steadfast in his obedience, knowing that dreams for prophets often held God's will. When he told Ishmael about his vision, Ishmael, calm and unwavering, replied, "Father, if this is God's will, then let it be done. I am ready to surrender to God's command." With this display of immense courage and faith, Ishmael prepared himself to offer his life to God. The day of sacrifice arrived, and Abraham and Ishmael walked to the place of offering. Just as Abraham placed the knife upon his son's neck, an angel called out, telling him to stop. They had passed the test. God, pleased with their devotion, provided a ram for the sacrifice in Ishmael's place. This act of faith and loyalty became the essence of what is celebrated each year as Eid al-Adha, a reminder of the profound submission of father and son to God. Following this trial, Ishmael continued to live in Mecca, eventually marrying and building a family. As a prophet himself, he guided his people to worship the one true God, establishing a legacy of faith that would reach generations beyond him. Ishmael became the forefather of a line of prophets, one that would ultimately lead to the prophet Muhammad. His life, devoted to God and to guiding his people, laid the foundation for the spiritual community that would continue to grow in Mecca. One day, Abraham returned to Mecca with a new purpose. He asked Ishmael to join him in a monumental task, the construction of the Kaaba, a house of worship for the one God. Together, father and son laid each stone, building a sanctuary that would stand as a beacon of faith and unity for all believers. Every brick they placed was a testament to their shared love and dedication to God. When the Kaaba was finally complete, they raised their hands in prayer, asking God to make this house a place of peace and worship for generations to come. The Kaaba stood as a symbol of their devotion, and it has since become the heart of the Muslim world, a place where millions gather to seek God's presence. Years of devotion, service, and faith defined Ishmael's life. In time, he passed away, leaving behind a legacy of courage, patience, and absolute surrender to the will of God. His story teaches us not only the value of faith, but also the strength we gain from trusting in God's wisdom, even in the most challenging moments of life.